group of you were pushing into the verdant locks in pursuit of some type of flower that Tang needed. You heard a little bit about these locks prior to your travel to them, that it is a primeval and severely overgrown garden-like area, and it flowers and blossoms and grows year-round due to some type of inherent magic in this part of the land. But because of the wild growth rate, it's not very safe to settle or draw resources upon. The stories did not do justice, as your approach found trees a dozen feet in diameter, leaves as tall as you are, everything scaled to massive proportions within these locks. And you've been following this winding path that seems like at one point might have been part of a road that has been sort of expanded upon some type of game trail and laid in such a way to prevent total overgrowth and allow some degree of travel between the trees that would not lead to inevitably becoming lost. You've encountered some dangers throughout. There were a few goblins which had stalked you for a while, waiting for you to fall prey to some violet fungi that, upon your triggering their defense mechanisms, the goblins saw that as the best opportunity to try to assail these travelers and take them of their would-be possessions. These goblins were unsuccessful and were repelled. However, one was able to make his way into the forest, ne'er to be seen. The rest were thankfully dispatched. As you continue to explore, you found a part of the trail that was covered in this white chalky substance for several minutes of walking, and presently you found a small enclave carved out of the side, all scoured of any degree of life, even down to the smallest bugs and beetles and stuff that would exist in the soil, devoid in this small section. You can see the edges had started to sort of creep back in very slowly with moss, but it seems like this was some type of way to safely create a clearing in this forest, such that it could be used as a waypoint over time. You found some degree of provisions within this space and decided to camp the evening. In the dusk hours, you were disturbed by bats that had roosted along the canopy ceiling of this wide trail that you've been following. Bats with wings that are greater than 5 feet in diameter. The span of them betraying that not only the trees and the plants grow large, but the creatures do as well. Well, the goblins were regularly sized. And it was not one bat, it was hundreds of bats out for their evening hunt. Group of you stayed quiet. Did not disturb them. Thankfully, were not disturbed yourselves. And the evening passed. Continuing on, about a half hour later, you had passed by the end of this chalky substance, and Siegfried made the observation that the trail is terribly winding, and he would not have been surprised if you had doubled back, almost touching previous trails by maybe a few score of feet as you go, leading you to believe that you could trailblaze off in any random direction and probably find another section of the trail. However, you have no idea which direction would be forward, so to speak, or bring you back to your original position if you did so, based on how everything's twisting and moving around. As such, you decided to stay the course, slower than potentially trailblazing, but at least you cover all of the ground to make sure. Because you are searching for something, and better to do it as systematically as possible. Later this day, the keen ears of the group of you picked out sounds, some degree of conversation coming from somewhere off trail, and you weren't sure what was being said. You used the spell Comprehend Languages to actually ascertain what was happening, and you got picked up in the middle of a conversation between two feminine voices and nothing. It seemed like they weren't conversing with each other and answering each other, but they were answering something else that was not speaking or was outside of your earshot at the very least. And getting from one side of this conversation, there was some discussion of some degree of patrol, of interlopers, which you presumed were yourselves. And you paused listening for a moment to relay some of this interaction to the companions. And during this time, as you are making noise there, it's hard to pay attention to stuff that's off in the woods and is very faint, and you have to strain to listen in the first place. As you turned your focus back to paying attention to the conversation, there was a few snippets of something going on. And it seemed like they had reached a decision of some degree. The decision was rapidly revealed to you as you were attacked by 4 floating heads. Reminded you of Mayor Yerl of Urkript, although they lacked the same number of eye stalks. He carried 4 each, as opposed to Yerl's 8. And were quite a bit smaller than Yerl himself. He gathered some type of beholder kin as these spectators, as they're known, assailed you. Somewhere in the midst of this attack, one of these womanly figures, with the cracking sound of wood, appeared out of the side of a tree and started flinging spells at the group of you. With her ability to stride between the trees, it was difficult for the more melee-focused of you to pin her down in such a way that she would not just vanish into a tree, let your weapons fall upon its bark for her to be dozens of feet away, until Aeolus was able to land a blood curse of the binding on her, against which she has yet to save successfully. The wild magic was unfriendly to you last session, eating many spell slots and not providing a lot of benefits. Currently, the Dryad Witch and Siegfried are also both shining with Fairy Fire, they themselves, with 2 rounds remaining on each of them. And that brings us to the beginning of our session, which is top of initiative with Aeolus.
I am going to attempt to take 2 swipes at the Dryad. An attempt is right.
You have advantage. She is Fairy Fire. So 16. Let me double check her. I believe 16 does hit. And she cannot use reactions while binded, correct?
Right.
So yes, 16 does hit, and crit obviously does. So you got 12 points, and 18, 30, 39 points total. Big damage.
And I will just act as large as I'm able to between the Dryad Witch and Siegfried and the rest of the group.
Okay. And that'll bring us to the last remaining spectator, some of which have been slain and one of which has already fled. It is going to loose a parting blast. It is continuing to float away. This is towards Aeolus.
Yes.
I would like you to make me a Constitution save, please. And Siegfried, make me also a Constitution save.
I think this is the only time I've ever rolled well on con saves.
Yeah. Siegfried, you are struck by this grayish beam as it impacts you, and you feel your form seize up. You are paralyzed.
It's not good.
I still technically have reactions when I get paralyzed, though, correct?
I'll double check the condition. One moment.
I just want to make sure.
Use this. Use Little Castle. You're paralyzed for 1 minute, and you can repeat the save on successive turns at the end of each of your turns.
But do I? Yeah. I don't think it says anything about reactions. I just want to make sure.
It's paralyzed. Incapacitated, can't move or speak, automatically fails strength dex saves. Creature hits creature, critical hit. Incapacitated. No, you cannot take reactions because incapacitated does not allow you to take reactions. So you can't do anything. You can't move, speak. You automatically fail dex save, and everything hits with advantage.
I have to do the save on my turn.
At the end of your turn, correct? Yes. Yep. All right, so that is the spectator, and then it will spend the rest of its movement and disappear into the forest. Siegfried, around you. Make a con save, please, to shake off the paralysis. Unfortunately, you went right after it. You're no longer paralyzed.
Yeah.
But that's your turn. Alright. Tang is not with us at the moment. So we will come to Dunnan, who, thanks to the Dryad Witch, is currently the unlucky recipient of Feeble Mind. What would it be?
It's just lobbing, drooling, holding tight onto the wineskin that Siegfried gave me.
Okay. How long does it take for Dunnan to quaff an entire wineskin?
Like 2 rounds, maybe.
Sure. All right. So at the end of this round, your wineskin's empty, and you can.
Awesome.
You'll do something else on instinct at that point. However you feel, Dunnan's instincts will follow. As we go around to Hellrest with the Dryad on deck.
Specifically, though, for the Feeble Mind spell, it does say that he knows we're friends,
Yes.
and he will follow us. So at least he's not completely like without sense.
Shit out of luck.
Great. Hallie doesn't have any fairy fire, right?
You are not fairy fired. No. You are there next to Dunnan. You see him just sort of losing wine down into his beard. The wineskin, he's clearly wrung dry at this point.
Okay.
You don't know exactly which spell has affected him, but it doesn't look good.
Doesn't look.
Siegfried has made an attempt at staving off whatever affected Dunnan with Dispel Magic, and it's confirmed through his own skill with Dispel that did not work. So it's something more powerful that he cannot touch.
Okay. Hallie's just going to move forward a little bit so that everybody's within 60-foot range and hit Mass Cure Wounds, because Aeolus is looking bad, Siegfried is looking bad, and maybe it'll help Dunnan.
Wonderful. I'd like you to roll me a D100, please.
Oh.
93. Aha! Your spell functions normally, and you do not even have to spend the spell slot.
Nice!
Very good for a 5th level spell slot. Not even spent. Alright, so that is... Go ahead and roll 3d8, plus your con mod, which is 5, I believe. So 13, 18 points. So, a 30-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice. I believe that hits everyone. Snap to corner, linger, edge. So if you center it here... No, I wanted to measure origin. There we go. Yep, you can get everyone. Easily enough.
Okay.
Alright. So everyone gets 18 points. Including the pup.
Yeah.
Alright. Anything else, LRS?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. It's going to bring us to... Upon seeing that you might have had a chance to assail Siegfried and then losing said opportunity. She does go down to 1 Fairy Fire at the end of this turn. Oh my gosh. Aeolus, you're the one that put the blood curse on her. She's gonna focus on you. Is this a ranged attack or is this a save? It's a con save. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. She's going to swing her hand around, letting her whip that she's had sort of coil back around her form in this bandolier style, and reach out and just press a finger against your guard as she does. I need you to make me a con save, please. 16. She needs to roll wild magic also. Okay. Magic. There it is. So her spell functions normally. You do pass the save, however. So I need to. Alright. So you take half damage from this Aeolus. So as opposed to the 59 points of necrotic damage, you suffer 29? Yeah, I think 29. Yeah. Grounded down. Yeah, 29. From Finger of Death. Or second casting of that. She was trying to drop you. So that way she might be able to escape. She's unable to, and then at the end of her turn against the Blood Curse, it's a con save also?
Yes. Con save of
21.
16? She makes it. Yeah.
She is escaped.
How much was your DC again, Aeolus?
She would need 6 in order to fail it.
I mean, I can still try.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
gonna try and blow up. Yeah, I'm gonna try and blow her.
Oh, no, she needs 7.
Okay, I
DC
can't do
is
that.
15.
I can't do that. So she's out.
Alright. Out she is. And that will then bring us to Aeolus, top of the round with Siegfried on deck.
Aeolus is going to draw some of that necrotic energy and is going to look up and go, "You're not getting away this time," and is going to recast Blood Curse of the Binding.
Okay. It's another con save. She passes again.
Oh, it's a strength save. Sorry.
It's a strength save. Let me see if that
Yes.
changes. Okay. So. Gotcha. So she rolled a natural 20 for a total of 20 to save against that.
Oh. Okay.
Would you like to woe her?
Yeah, I think because we have a chance, right?
You need a 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Because
So
it's
do
DC
we-
15?
Yes.
Yeah, you need a 6.
Yep. Here we go.
Ooh!
Got it.
Yep. Alright, she is rebound. Is that your action or your bonus action?
That's my bonus action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take 2 swipes at her. Or attempt to.
Yep. You have advantage because of the fairy fire. How do you want to do this? She had 12 points left. She was real close. After the crit last round, that shark threw her.
Aeolus is just going to just start slicing away, and just after he's gonna aim to sever one of the tendons in her arm to make her arm drop, and then he's going to strike at her leg, and is just going to cut her down physically until she can't stand.
Nice. So somewhere in this frenzy of attacks you make on her in the interim, you realize that you think for a moment that you're worried that your blood curse has failed you again, and she somehow vanished into the tree. As you feel that you're no longer chopping a flesh and blood individual, you're chopping wood. You realize in the instance of her demise, her body shifted and became this caricature of wood, like a wonderful carving in excruciating pain that you have then summarily destroyed with further chops. But she is no more. And that's going to take us out of initiative entirely. And find yourselves comfortably calm in the wilderness. What do you do?
You try and signal down Tang if she's around. I
She's
tell the
out
party.
scouting.
Yeah, I tell the party whatever's wrong with Dunnan, I can't fix.
Dunnan would pull out his junk and pee on the stump in front of him, because he drank a lot of wine.
Like we haven't seen that before.
While he's peeing, I gently tie a rope around his waist and then tie the other end around me. So like little monkey backpacks for kids. I'm just like, it's all right, Dunnan. You're a friend. I offer him some rations and then some ale from the bag of holding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Certainly. And go ahead and roll me a D100. Focus just normally. You're good.
So yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss what to do.
You can make an Arcana check. Now that you're out of combat, I will allow 2 checks on this, 2 different knowledge skills of your choice, one of which will be Arcana. For anyone in the party to be able to identify what has happened to Dunnan and, depending on how well you roll, figure out potential ways to solve this problem.
Aeolus, you're the best at Arcana, correct?
No, I'm not
No.
trained in Arcana.
Okay, well, I'm going... Actually, I think Ellie might be trained in Arcana, right? I can't remember who was. Maybe no one.
Answer.
Jack, I'm still
Yes.
fucking around with my family. No,
Could
no, not trained in Arcana.
Could I roll a nature or survival check with the intent in mind of using one of my mutagens on Dunnan to see if it works, even temporarily?
Make me a nature check. This is one of the 2 knowledge checks that you guys are being allowed.
Can I enhance Aeolus's ability? Or at least attempt to.
I'm gonna err on the side of no, because this is more of just like recognizing the problem. Like, while we've had the discussion of who has better skill checks and whatnot and stuff, like it's more in the the recognition of what's ailing Dunnan, what in the immediate moment might be able to aid. So I would say on the side of not. 18's pretty good though. Alright, so you saw that Siegfried, in the midst of the fight, attempted to dispel. You trust that Siegfried would have shared or is competent enough to know that he had attempted it successfully, or he probably would have tried again. You are also aware that your mutagens are cultivated specifically for your biology, and while they might not be poison for other people, they might not be the most friendly of things to other beings' stomachs. Even creatures as hardy as dwarves, which regularly season their foods with things like arsenic and elderberries and things that traditional human settlements would consider toxins, are just considered spicy for dwarves. Even the mutagens themselves might be a little bit too harsh on Dunnan. At the very least, maybe make him sick to his stomach, or give him the runs, which is then another thought that sort of draws, do I want to help try to Dunnan change his pants when he doesn't know how to speak? Your brain takes a weird path.
Don't need these images.
Additionally, with an 18, you would need to confer upon Teng's re-arrival, but you wonder if the flower for which she is searching and why the group of you have come to the Verdant Locks, if that might be of some degree of aid to Dunnan. But you're not sure.
So with the understanding that the mutagens are tailored to myself, could I attempt to take a sample of Dunnan's blood out here and try to craft a mutagen using his blood?
You can try. You are well enough versed at this point in how your own mutagens work. You suspect that your success rate will likely be lower than 5% chance. In the wilderness, in a short period of time, without the access to proper tools and distillations, and a test bed that you could then talk back to and tell you what's happening to them. Because right now, if you administer something to Dunnan that you think you might have concocted correctly, he can't tell you if he's upset to his stomach, if he's about to throw up, if he suddenly got a headache, if his skin is crawling like there's thousands of ants underneath it.
Right.
So,
okay.
You suspect your chance is low on any initial test, and it will likely not get better as it normally would under ideal circumstances over time. Because you don't have access to the feedback information that you need to improve.
Right. Okay.
So, there's a chance. I'm not saying that it's not there, but it's a slim one. And you put it no higher than 5%. Possibly lower. So, there's a chance. Siegfried, did you want to make the Arcana check, since we've had a nature done already?
Sure, and this one do no enhance ability, correct?
I would say you yourself, as you're sort of ruminating, you could do it on yourself, but...
Okay. I will attempt to do it, so I'll do the wild magic.
Yeah, because that's more of an internal thing than... I believe 62
I think
is fine.
we rolled good.
Fine.
Yeah, we did it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so I will...
Geez, wow.
Yeah. So assuming the last one worked.
Yeah.
So this is Fox's cunning.
Yep, so advantage.
And... Shit, these rolls are terrible for me.
And you have woe right now, right?
Yeah, I have woe, right? I'm not sure it would have made...
Yeah.
I made that much of a difference even if I had wheel.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten like a 10 above an Arcana check like this entire campaign.
Yeah. Something magical happened to him. You recognize, you're aware enough that Dispel Magic usually deals with small level things, and this is likely something more on the side of the purview of significant restorative magic and healing magic, not disjunctive magic. This is not a... You can picture it as two different types of magic. One deals with the internal, where whatever spell is placed upon them is internalized by the recipient, whether it be healing magic and things like that, or particularly baleful curses. And the other is an external magic, things like Hold Person and Hold Monster, and things that affect part of the world around them. And that is the type of magic that Dispel does. It is a physical manifestation of some degree of force that is disjuncted by the spell. And that's what healing magic is typically not good at dealing with, because that is the internalized side of it. So whatever spell or curse or whatever that has effect done in has been internalized into his form, and it's not an external force acting upon the environment, which is then forcing him to do something.
Yeah, like, it's not like a lasting effect. The effect already happened
Yeah.
and changed him physiologically.
Yeah.
Versus, like, it's like a lasting magic aura on him.
Yeah. If you think of a piece of clay, you can either wrap up something inside of the clay or wrap something around the outside of it. Dispel Magic would deal with something wrapped around the outside, but nothing on the inside of it. And whatever has affected him is inside at this point. So you need powerful restorative magic. Beyond that, you're not sure.
I tell Aeolus, I think our only hope is getting him to Teng's Flower and hoping it does anything. If we turn back now, we're already so far away. It's so hard to tell distance here. You might be closer to the flower than we are to the monastery, which might be the only place that could help him. What do you think, Aeolus? Ellie?
I think we are able to turn around.
I say my vote is to keep going, honestly.
Yeah.
Either way, we're fucked. Is there
Yeah.
any way we can just strap him to the bloody pup?
Yeah, I mean, he knows we're friends. He just can't talk or understand or fight. I'll keep him near me for now. All right. I take out just another little bit of ale and give it to him, and I just see, if you stay near me, you get some ale done. And stick by my side.
Free. I think you're onto something. Hold on one sec. And Aeolus is gonna walk over and snatch the ale violently from on it.
And then it's gonna attack you.
Let's go. This is exactly what I thought.
I see.
Make a attack roll. That probably hits Aeolus.
That came pretty close. That hits.
Take 13 points of damage, Aeolus.
That almost drops me.
Well, we
I-
probably should take a short rest.
Instinctively smite? I don't think so. No.
I don't
Oh,
think
no.
you can technically do magic right now.
No, he
but
can't
I don't.
cast
No.
spells. You
Yeah.
can smite.
Okay.
You can, yeah. Smite's but I'm not sure you know what a smite is. But
No, probably not.
It's all debatable.
It depends on the anger level.
Yeah.
Level, I would say.
Yeah.
If it tries
Oh.
again, he.
I quickly give him the ale back before he kills Aeolus. Well, I guess now we need to take a short rest too. Hopefully.
Danen puts on
And
the
also-
meanest face you have ever
And
seen.
I just say, also, Heli, I know you're helping, and I'm glad you did. But next time we fight a dryad, don't kill a tree in front of it.
Well,
You literally, you could have done anything else, and it probably would have gone better.
yeah.
This was pretty much the worst possible outcome because of that. But to be fair, there wasn't much time to communicate and arrange a strategy. but
No, just you know me. I act first and think later.
yeah. Well,
And to be
Uh,
honest, this is Kim talking. What the hell did Helly do?
you cast Blight on a tree.
Oh,
And-
blight.
Yeah, and it killed the tree
But
immediately.
wasn't it attacking us? Wasn't it part of the attack?
No,
Well,
no,
I mean-
no. Yeah, she didn't cast it on
No.
the tree. She attacked the dryad with blight.
Oh yeah, but like the area around it, you said it took away the stuff, and that was when it cast Feeble Mind on one of us. But yeah, I think at that point,
she cast it on. Yeah, she cast it on the dryad, and wild magic
Yeah.
ricocheted it back on Heller as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but that was the thing that made her like super angry. But so Sigrid was like, maybe if we run into more plant people, you can try a different
Yeah.
spell.
Not
is
blight.
particularly
Okay.
unkind to plant-based things.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I was trying to negotiate with her, but I don't think it was working either way. So I don't
No.
think it would have gone much better. But she did talk about some sort of queen, and it seems like there's a society of plant people here. So we may have to pay for this later on.
Can I survey the area that we're in and try to detect if there's any traces of, or any strong traces of A magic?
Certainly. Do you have a specific ability for this, or?
I'm trying to look to see if Hunter's Bane or
Brennan has an ability, but he can't.
Okay. Go ahead and make a survival check for me.
yeah, says I can track Fey fiends or undead, but
Sure.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying
make
to
a
use
survival
it to see
check
if I
just
can-
to see if something feels off in this space. Nothing immediately stands out to you as untowards. You gather there's some degree of magical element to this land, this section. Not this section of the forest, but the forest in general. But you feel like part of you already knew that based on the scale of the growth within this space and the size of the natural fauna that you have encountered so far. Things that would be considered megafauna in any other area of Aquan, they seem to be part and parcel here. So nothing else out of the ordinary to you, but yeah.
we should continue on our way. When we sit down to rest, I'll see if there's any immediate way I can aid.
I think we should short rest before we go, Aeolus. You're about to fall over. You just took a mace to the dome from Dudden.
Well, at least we know that if we aim him, he'll fuck shit up.
Yes, yes.
The Dana is kicking like a baby.
So yes, if we're able to, I would like to take a short rest.
It's the only hammered the Aeolus gets.
All right.
Or if we're not taking a short rest, I'll just give Aeolus my potions. My potion of greater healing.
Oh, it's okay. I have potions.
Is that your last potion, Sigrid?
No, I have a ton of potions. I have two. I've literally not used any of the potions. I have 2 potions of greater healing just in my inventory right now.
There.
Yeah.
So
Whatever you guys
I
want to
have 1 greater and I have 2 regulars.
Here, I'll give you one of my graders, Aeolus. Take it now. And then I forget how much a grader was. It was in the notes.
Oh, there's a macro for that.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was looking right at it. All right. So, and then are you almost at? You still need some more. Fuck. I'll give you the potion of greater healing, Aeolus. Here.
I will drink one of my regulars
Okay.
so that I'm at least. Yeah,
I can-
see? There we go. I'm almost at half.
I'll give you my one regular healing potion too. I'll save the greater one. You can drink that one too.
Is that your last regular, Siegfried?
Yeah, that was my last regular. I had 2 greater, 1 regular.
Ellie suddenly starts paying attention. She has 5 regular healing potions.
I think you should hold on to those.
So, Aeolus, after you
Okay.
get the one regular from Siegfried to hold on to, how many potions do you have?
I currently now have 1 greater and 1 regular,
Okay.
and then the potion of heroism.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm adjusting my inventory right now to get rid of the.
So you have 1 greater left, Siegfried, correct?
Yep, I have 1 greater left.
Okay.
I have 1 supreme that we found last time and 1 potion of speed.
Yep. Which is non-concentration haste.
I love non-concentration haste.
Yeah, until it gets dispelled off you.
Yep.
All right. So you guys, it's just about midday. So
Yeah,
you can get some more miles underfoot if you'd like. Are you short resting or just gonna go?
I think we're just gonna go. I want to get away from whatever the hell happened here. So
Aeolus, did you drink 2
uh,
regular potions of healing?
Yes,
And then you still have 1 more?
yes.
Okay.
I drank the one that Siegfried gave me and one of my own.
Okay. And so Siegfried, you have nothing left, correct?
I have 1 greater healing
But
potion
you have no
left.
regulars, correct?
No regulars.
And Aeolus, you drank the one that Siegfried gave you and 1 of your own. Do you have any regulars?
I have 1 more.
Okay. Which you drank? So you drank one of yours. Siegfried gave you 1. You drank that, correct?
Yes.
That was the order of operations.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I also gave him a greater healing to start it off.
Okay. Remove the 7 hit points you got, Aeolus,
Okay.
from the second one.
This
How many
this
hit
is
points
where
do you
we
have?
find out that you can't drink more. 30.
Cool. I'm not gonna make you guys roll into initiative because it is even with what's about to happen, it is not a difficult fight for any of you at this point. Aeolus, you take 25 points of damage as you put the potion to your mouth that Siegfried's been carrying at this point for months. And has
Is
been
it
a mimic the entire time.
Yes!
That's why I was like, wait, which one is which? Okay, cool. The last one Siegfried held. So 25 points of damage as it bites your tongue.
Awesome. Can we subdue it non-lethally? Is that at all possible? If not, it's okay.
I will say, make me just a d20 roll. If you get a 16 to 20, I'll say you succeed in subduing it non-lethally. Whether or not you have something to store it in, that is a different matter. Alright, yep. You successfully knock it out. Which is weird because it sort of changes back into this potion bottle. About a minute later, it changes to look like a different potion, and then a minute later it changes to look like a flask of alcohol, and then a minute later it changes to look like a wineskin. And a minute
Dana is
later, it
gonna
changes
reach
to
for
look
the
like a small
wineskin.
flask.
I immediately
Oh,
no, I just like, here, Don, and here's some ale. Here, I direct him away.
What are you doing with this, Aeolus?
I'm like, I'm sorry, Aeolus. Let's just take a short rest. Fuck.
No, it's fine. I don't need my tongue at the moment. I want to try to feed it one of my rations.
It's out cold. Knocked out.
It's out cold?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to... I want to try to subdue this thing. I don't I and Aeolus don't know that if mimics need to breathe, so I'm going to put it in my bag of holding.
Before you do that, I hold my finger out while I'm like waving a tankard of ale over Dunnan as he's like jumping up and down, and then I reach into the bag of holding, and I take out the empty box I had. We used to carry the crystals.
Okay.
The metal box that we used to take the weird green crystals to Calpip on. Like, just put it in that. Keep it away from Dunnan. Lock it up.
Yeah, sure. I'll put that and one of my rations in the box, and then put that into my bag of holding.
Noted.
Hopefully,
Okay.
it doesn't need air.
Oh, I can't put it in the bag of holding. Fuck. I'll just carry the box then.
You're just carrying the box?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Carrying the box. You set off for the day? Or for the rest of the day? Keep walking?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Roll me 3D 100, please.
Did I do it?
Yeah.
Dunnan is probably gonna chase any butterfly or any insect he sees, so it's gonna be a hassle.
Ooh, I got a 1.
41. Okay. Table. One moment.
This is where Aeolus dies.
Okay.
I give you my last greater healing potion because I feel bad about
No.
Mimic.
No.
Aeolus, drink it. If we die here, there's no way we're fixing Dunnan. So drink this goddamn potion and keep marching.
I have my own potion, and it won't bite me.
But
Okay.
drink it.
The rest of the day passes quietly. You find a small glen that will serve nicely as camp. The air has gotten a little bit more cool over the course of the day. You gather you're near some type of body of water, which is soon reinforced by as you're finishing putting the final touches together of setting up camp. It is reinforced by the loud croaking that happens as you're sort of working on stuff. Within a few moments, as you're sort of starting to gather your senses as to what's going on, there's a small swarm of croaking frogs that are just hopping along and passing through your camp. Each of these is about the size of a medium dog and probably stands about a foot tall when like sitting on something. And when they extend themselves in each hop, they cover a decent distance. And probably toe to toe, they're maybe 3 feet long, 4 feet long, quite hefty sized creatures as far as frogs go. I'd like all of you to make me so just dexterity saves, please. Including the pup. Alright. Well, the pup sees things that are fun to chase. All of you are sort of careful. You don't want to sort of disturb these things. There's a lot of them, and you don't know if they're dangerous or not. So as they're hopping through your camp, trying to be careful not to like disturb them in any type of way, because they don't seem immediately hostile. Helleras, you dodge out of the way of one of them, just for another one's hop to sort of pass by and sort of slap you in the face with its belly. As then it uses your head as a springboard to get more distance with a second hop. Pup manages to get one of their legs in its jaw, but then is rapidly kicked by the backward motion of the other leg and forced to release. Within about a minute, they're all gone. They're vanished back into the wood. They just passed through this space. You wipe the slime off of your face, Hellerast.
Could I do a nature check to see if I've heard of these types of frogs before?
Sure, yeah.
12.
Never heard of them previously, at least not of this size. You didn't have a long enough moment to really sort of get a gaze at one and sort of classify it. I mean, it's a large frog. You can call it whatever you wanted.
Well, it's towards the end of the day now, correct?
Correct,
Like,
yes. It's, you've just set up an evening camp.
So,
The frog, at this point, the croaking itself is even faded, and you don't even hear that anymore.
I'm going to attempt to cast hallucinatory terrain again.
Certainly. Go ahead and roll for me.
Shit.
13. You're not going to cast hallucinatory terrain. That is, once again, a random area. Roll me a d12.
I love wild magic.
What are you making with the hallucinatory terrain?
So I imagine there's like a little bit of woods that ends, and then it's like a beach towards the water. Is that what you described?
No,
it?
you get the feeling you are near some type of body of water based on the lowered temperature and the cooler air. You do not see a body of water.
Okay.
You're not near one. You're in a small glen at the moment.
I just make it just seem like the glen is overgrown.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah, that it's just like filled with brambles and bushes and just an area people normally wouldn't camp.
Of course.
Basically.
A few moments pass as the magic channels out from you and starts to reshape the environment. As you feel the spell come to conclusion after this casting time, and you open your eyes and glance around again to see what's going on. The glen looks the same. So realize something might have gone wrong. You felt the spell take effect. About 70 feet back along the trail ends at this massive growth of a large tree and a whole bunch of bushes all around it. The whole trail is just blocked by this thing. It just ends in the direction you came from.
Oh.
You gather probably the same on the other side, but
Yeah. Savory just shrugs. I tried. Let's do watches. Dunnan can't take watch tonight.
Alright, 3 of you taking watches.
Yeah, we're probably gonna need some extra time to rest,
Yeah,
I
you'll need a
believe.
12-hour rest, which is fine.
Yep.
I'd like each of you to give me a perception check for said watches.
Yeah. I'll do it now, but I also have to step away for a moment, sorry.
Okay.
Shit.
Siegfried's so worried about.
Yeah, I'm just like checking on Dunnan, giving him ale every few minutes. Just rubbing his belly. Well, yeah, I will be right back, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Illis, your watch passes peacefully. Eventually you pass it over to Siegfried. You take some time to take care of Dunnan. During Siegfried's watch, when you're sleeping, Hellerast, your dreams are remarkably vibrant. You feel yourself sort of swimming through empty space. You don't feel water around you, it's just the motions of swimming and passing through. You gaze around and there's stars everywhere. What do you do?
Do I know I'm asleep?
Make an intelligence check for me.
Oh, it's not a save. Sorry.
I'm sorry. So it's a couple less. You're not sure. This isn't where you were. You gather you having some type of lucid dream of some sort. It's like the starry sky on the clearest possible night. You don't see a moon present. And as you're sort of swimming through this space, very faintly you see this ripple, as if the surface of the water, so to speak, that you're passing through is slightly disturbed. Although you don't feel the water, it's like this just ripple in the air and you notice as it passes away from you, the faint undulations of reflections, or maybe not reflections, just other stars in this fabric of reality as you're sort of watching everything. Make your perception check.
Okay.
As you're swimming, passing through space, you see stars start to fade. You don't notice it consciously at first, but the area is growing darker. Different points of light winking out. Here, there. As they do, the fabric of the world through which you're moving feels thicker, heavier. There's a resistance in your movements. Everything's slowly getting darker and darker and darker. What are you doing?
Slightly panicking and maybe looking for Corin. Just to make sure she's okay or see if she reacts to any of this in any way.
Make me a constitution check, because that's your spellcasting ability.
Okay.
So that's 4 less for proficiency, so that's a 19.
19. Still enough.
Yeah, because it's just a check, not a save.
Right, sorry.
It's all good. I know what you all have the same proficiency bonus. It's easy enough for me. As this panic sort of sets in and you reach inside for that connection that you've had with Corin, you find it missing. You feel
Ooh.
like it's been torn away, just as you see more and more of the stars fade until there's nothing. There's utter darkness. You close your eyes and reopen them, and you can tell no difference. The substance, the space through which you're moving, feels like thick molasses now. You're barely feeling like you're making any type of progress, and you have no point of reference to see if you are making any progress whatsoever. You feel every movement becoming more of a struggle. You feel something change in the environment. A cold that creeps and coils up your leg, along your back and around your torso, up around your throat, choking you, threatening to pull you down underneath this morass through which you've been fighting at this point. As you feel it coil around your neck and panic sets through you, what do you do?
Jesus Christ. Probably just start screaming. Because there's nothing else. Just trying to do something to make this reality change that's just inside. Like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Slap in my face. Just trying to see if that's what's going on.
Make me a wisdom check. Just wisdom. As you sort of focus, it's hard to solidify your thoughts. You're trying to overcome this panic through reason and logic and understanding, and whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever is assailing you is beyond this comprehension for you. It is difficult to fathom exactly what is happening. And then you feel a emotion flood you, washing everything else away, like dams burst and extinguishing candles, like small saplings before a torrential windstorm and hurricane, torn from their ground and cast aside as if they were nothing. An overwhelming hunger floods you, and you lose yourself in this for a moment. And then your eyes snap open. You are drenched in sweat. Your bedroll is damp and sopping. The air around you is cool as you sit up suddenly. What Siegfried is currently nursing the half-asleep Dunnan, too focused on him to realize all of the space around you sort of been disturbed. Packs have been knocked over. You realize you might have been flailing at some point. What are you doing? Siegfried, you finally realize something's going on with her.
Is everything okay?
Oh, thank God. That was the worst dream I've ever had in my life. Oh, shit. Is everything okay? You guys are all okay?
You're very quiet, still.
Very loose definition.
Sorry.
Oh no, I think it's me. Sorry, I'm eating at the moment, so I was trying to keep my mic away. I'll just say it's a very loose definition of okay, but at least we're alive.
I mean, you guys didn't feel yourselves engulfed in blackness ripping into your very soul?
I mean, metaphorically, sometimes I do, but not recently.
Not in the last few minutes. Okay. I wish Willem was here. This sounds like one of his dreams.
You're having Willem leave. That might not be good.
Oh. So she'll just go ahead and recount the whole dream. And while she's doing that, she's going to feel for Corin.
You feel the connection present.
Okay.
As
Okay.
vibrant as it has ever been.
Okay. So that was just, I don't know if it was prophetic or not, but that was just the worst possible dream. But okay, I'm awake now, and I'm not going to go back to sleep, I don't think. How much more time is do you have on your watch, Siegfried?
I mean, I think we can take it a little bit easy today. We took quite a hit the last day, and
Well, okay, you've got company.
yeah, and doesn't really sound like a dream, more as much of a message.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it feels like to me.
I don't know if there's a check I can make, but Siegfried doesn't have very much knowledge of dreams. I'm reading through my sheets. If there's anything I can help. Yeah, Helly, I really don't know.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna stand up and kind of try to walk this off. Show me what how you're helping Dunnan. What are you doing with him?
Just anytime he tries to wander away, or attack anything, or or try to kill the pup, just wave this tankard of ale in front of him.
Okay. I will do that. If you want to get some rest. I will not be able to sleep again tonight.
Thinking on the dream Helly described to him, in the recent memory, does Siegfried ever remember feeling something like that? Like, to him it kind of sounds like how it feels when we go through the gates. Like that moment where everything, like the moment between the gates.
It's up to you if you determine that it feels like that.
Yeah, can I try and remember how that feels?
No check
And
for
if
that.
it's similar,
It's entirely up to your interpretation. I'm not making you roll for that.
all right. And if he recalls seeing stars and stuff, I don't know. But he'll just
You can
think on
check
it.
next time you go through a henge.
Yeah, he's gonna try and remember to see, because what she's talking about, that space, it sounds like the space between gates for him. Oh yeah, that's all he's gonna think of as he goes to bed.
Okay. The rest of your watch passes quietly. You take care of Dunnan, stirs once, rolls back to sleep. The pup is sitting next to him, staring at you knowingly. Presently, the watch changes again, and the evening does eventually pass as the group of you get a late start in the morning, making sure everyone gets a proper amount of rest. You can all complete a long rest.
All right. So,
Does
Siegfried.
Siegfried ask me if it felt like that at all? Like the space between the gates?
I would mention, I guess, before I went to bed, I'd be like, the only thing I remember that could be like that is when we go through the portals.
I'll tell you what, if the portals felt like that, I would never go through a portal again.
Not the drowning, but the stars.
The stars? Maybe.
Is everything okay?
I assume this
yeah.
conversation has continued in the morning, and that's why
Yeah,
Otis is up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll tell Aeolus the dream. Just because it was fucked.
I rolled 2 1s on D100 in this session today.
And
What are the odds?
And you felt something coiling around you?
Boiling around me, overcoming me, consuming me almost. Until I was nothing but panic. And that's when I woke up. Corn was gone. Light was gone. Stars were gone. Any sensation was gone except for this coiling tentacle feeling of intense cold and panic.
Sounds like a massive serpent that's trying to get free. Wouldn't be the first time that we've had their eyes upon us. Willem and I also experienced it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So,
in your opinions, and Aeolus is going to raise his shield. Do we think we can attach or strap this to Tunnen's arm? Or do either of you want it?
What, a shield?
I used my other infusion slot, and I used enhance defense and made it a +3 to AC instead of a +2.
Dunnan does have a shield already.
Yeah. And so does Siegfried, and so does Helly.
Do
No, Helly
either-
doesn't.
Okay. I mean, yeah, give it to Helly then.
I don't think.
Do
Yeah.
either of you want to be harder to hit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Grr. I think let's give that to Siegfried because I like having both arms now that I don't have both eyes.
I'm working on that.
Gunnar is gonna bark and play fetch with the pup.
I make sure Dunnan eats his breakfast and help him get his armor on.
He's gonna eat like a dog.
Yeah.
Speaking of breakfast, Aeolus is going to step away from the group a little bit
Yeah.
and is going to try to slowly open the box and throw more rations into the box.
Sure, make me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, this is going to go great. Do my fancy gloves give me anything?
Which gloves do you have?
The gloves of thievery.
Check them. Do
I
they do
gain a
anything for sleight of hand?
+5 to sleight of hand checks.
Is that factored into
And-
that check already, or no?
It is not, but it specifies it is made to pick lock.
Ooh.
So let me check if I modified that. I did. So that is a -6.
So you mean -5
Yes,
to that?
-5.
So you got a 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all anyone else hears.
You get the rations in. Whew, jeez, it rolled well on damage. You do start out your day with 18 points of damage as a sizable chunk of sort of the meat where your thumb connects to your palm is bitten, and some of it's taken with it, you gather.
That's bad. God, fuck. You're gonna work with me.
Aeolus, that thing survived in my pack.
It was not
I
a
don't
bag
think
of
you need
holding.
Yeah, it was not in the bag of holding. It survived in my pack for months. I don't think you need to feed it regularly.
I'm trying to train it.
He's pretty trained. It was pretty fucking patient. I literally had that near my face a few times and didn't bite me. Only when he tried to drink it.
I'm just gonna shake the box. Why won't you like me?
All right.
You hear movement in the box for a few moments afterwards, and then it stops.
I can give you all the food you want, just not us.
Don't you have Mage Hand?
From the lantern, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
I can't keep track of what this lantern does. It just keeps me alive. That's okay. I didn't need that end of my thumb anyway.
All right, Mr. Artificer, thumbless Artificer. Let's keep going.
I'll just craft myself a new thumb.
All right,
That's
so-
how that works, right?
It's just like a knob of wood just strapped.
Nope. It's just completely unproportionate.
No.
Helly's gonna name it Thumb, or no, Digit.
Digit, yep.
Digit.
It's fine.
The
That's what he
mimic?
likes.
Yep.
The mimic, yes.
Oh my god.
This is
That's
it's
amazing.
gonna be a companion whether it likes it or not.
All right. So mimic got a part of the pad of your hand, not your thumb. The meat at the bottom of your thumb, where it's in your palm,
Worse.
and so now your hand hurts. What are you doing for the day?
I
Besides,
just go further down the trail. I don't think we should go off the trail. We're already in dire straits, so just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay. Where is my table? There we go.
Aeolus is going to quaff a mutagen at the start of the day. Increases dexterity just a wee bit.
As the day proceeds, the sound of rain in the treetops takes over. It doesn't start like this, but it picks up and then what that gift. Jeez. But it starts like that and then gets heavier and heavier. The point that even a few drops are making their way down to you, dripping off who knows how many leaves before reaching the floor of the forest. Visibility is limited, although your visibility wasn't much more than the next bend of the path, typically, on any average amount of time. You're not sure where this body of water is that you know is nearby, but the twisting and turning path follows. A little bit in the afternoon, your boots are waterlogged, and you've seen neither hide nor hair of creatures. The path opens to a wide clearing, wider than any you've seen before. And the ground is covered in small plants, mosses and the like. And you realize, not quite small, they're actually still quite large for a moss, but a large and thick bed of moss might be a foot in depth, not dozens of feet like the trees around. And at the entrance to this clearing, as you sort of gaze out at it, you can't see more than maybe a dozen feet past the entrance because of the heavy downpour, is a large statue. Looks to be humanoid figure. You're not sure, man or woman, or even race. It's almost entirely covered by lichen. Make a perception check, all of you. Taking a glance at the statue, see parts of it have sort of crumbled from age and wear. Part of one of the bracers is broken away. Part of the leg has been cracked. One of the legs has been cracked. It's standing resolute, both legs together, but there's definitely a crack running along part of it. Not enough to spiderweb across the entire statue. You realize it's armored, as to why you can't tell its true race or gender. As you gaze at it more, you see part of the helm has been broken and worn down by probably downpours just such as this. And the back of the statue bears a large shield, which is providing a small bit of reprieve from the range, the ground behind it. But the top edge of that shield has been worn down by the passage of weather over time. Most of the fine details are totally obscured by the lichen that's grown upon it. Near the base of the statue, currently holding some of the smaller leaves that you've encountered over time, these fronds, and the fronds themselves are about 2 feet in diameter, and you can tell it's difficult for some of them to hold it. There's about 3 lemurs that just sort of have these fronds over their heads. They're just resting on their heads and basically acting as like little umbrellas from the downpour. And you see their large eyes sort of gazing out through the downpour. These things are bigger than you would expect, but not massive creatures. They're each about 2 feet, probably in height, if they stand true and tall. They're sort of gazing at you for a moment. You push into the clearing.
First, I'm gonna hand over Dunnan's reins over to Helly. I'm gonna keep track of Dunnan for a little bit for me, if you could.
Sure.
And I'm going to attempt to cast Speak with Animals.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a d100. It's a level spell. 85, you're good. Let me double check. Specifically 85, just to be sure. Yep, 85 functions normally. You're good.
I'll mark off the spell slot.
Alright.
Okay, it's level. Speak with Animals is level 1. Yep. Okay.
Level 1, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just be like, below their lemurs.
You see 3
Well,
sets
Matt.
of eyes immediately fixate on you. These eyes, a good 3 inches in diameter, massive compared to even their heads and their bodies. They immediately all focus on you. There's a shimmer as the little light that is present because of the downpour and the overcast clouds is definitely reflecting off of these eyes directly at you.
I'd be like, we don't mean any harm. He's very sick. We were hoping to get him some help.
Help.
May we pass?
Pass.
Is there
Danger. Thieves.
Are we-
Thieves.
Are we the thieves?
Her garden.
Can we speak with her? We don't want to steal. We can offer payment.
Payment? Danger.
They turn to the party. They just, I don't understand. It's the first time I've spoken to an.
Understand.
They're saying there's danger up ahead from a gardener. Her garden.
Sounds about par for the course.
I'm gonna slowly start approaching the lemurs.
They're watching you. Make an animal handling check. Okay, continue.
And yeah, if they allow me, I would like to get close to them and sort of just sit down on the ground. Where do you come from? Do you have a clan nearby? A family?
Here and there and here.
Why are you sitting by the statue?
Rain. Protector.
So the statue protects the way ahead.
Guard. Fight.
Is there a way we don't have to fight the guard?
Lose.
Can we talk with the guard? Can we show it our intentions?
You see
Like
the eyes flick up at the statue and flick back to you. Guard.
Can I bring the rest of my party closer?
Closer, closer, closer.
I'll wave them up. And I'll
Danger,
talk to,
danger, danger.
and I'll tell them to stop. Don't go past the statue. You remember the statues in the temple, Aeolus? I think this is a similar situation, but I turn to the statue. I'll be like, Sir Protector, can you hear me? Are you there?
Statue does nothing. It's a statue.
I reach out and touch the statue.
It's cold, wet, stone, like maybe granite.
Are there any sort of writings or any sort of markings on it?
Make a perception check, unless you wanted to sort of get down and try to clear off some of the lichen and scratch away at stuff, which would be investigation.
No, I'll do perception. I don't want to start pulling out knives.
You see, there's a depression near the base of the statue, which you suspect is some type of carving or engraving, but it's been covered over by lichen. So you can see the subtle change in the lichen itself, but not enough to be able to sort of read whatever's there.
If I can, I'd like to point that out to Aeolus. And Aeolus, do you mind checking out that area of the statue?
Statue, statue, statue.
I don't know if Sam is there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you guys want to step back.
Sure. Yes. But it looks like something might be written there. But of course, I tell Helly to move back with Dunnan, and then I stand a little bit in front of them.
Sure.
As you step away, Siegfried, the three lemurs drop their little fronds that they've been using as umbrellas and dart away on all fours, bounding through the moss and vanishing into the rain towards some part of the jungle off to your side.
Okay. I just
Maybe stop?
we have to go through, but it's most like
Mm,
danger either way. I think. I think this
danger.
may even be the lesser of the two.
I'm gonna step up to the statue and I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Sure, I'll do 100. As you release the spell, you feel it take hold of the world, and then you realize that your skin is glowing with a purple effervescence. You have Fairy Fire on you for 3 rounds. But other than that, spell functions. You detect that of your companions that you expect. You do not detect anything specific from the statue, other than that which pervades the entire environment of the locks themselves.
I'm going to try to reveal what's at the bottom of the statue with my hands. I'm not going to take my knife out.
Okay. Carefully, it takes you a few minutes to properly sort of brush away some of the lichen and tear away at it. Which languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Infernal, and Orcish.
You do not recognize this language.
Do you let Siegfried know?
Yeah,
Siegfried
I'll
would,
finish up and just move out of the way.
yeah. Seeing that Aeolus doesn't understand whatever's written there, I would try and approach and cast Comprehend Languages, and I'll do the D100 roll.
Sure. Is that 40?
Yep.
Fails, and your spell slot is wasted.
Okay.
Or if it's a charge, the charge is wasted.
Yeah, I will just try again if I can.
Sure. Make me a perception check and a dexterity check.
Okay. I don't know if that made any difference. It was only 42.
All right, perception and dexterity. Okay. So as you step forward and intone the comprehend languages, spell fails. You start to intone the spell again, as represented by your dexterity. I'm like, oh, I recognize. Let's just give another go at it. But the words get lost in your throat for a moment as you gaze. You are able to read what is on the base of the statue. It is Druidic.
You hear Siegfried swear in giant again.
Language.
Now, for a language that is not
Yeah.
typically written, it doesn't use characters. It focuses on symbols that have specific meanings, that are usually emblazoned on top of one another, giving rise to more and more complex symbols, such that an entire phrase or an idea can be inscribed into a small area, and it is read as a single whole as opposed to a line. The idea that has been emblazoned upon the base of this statue is punishment and pain.
Siegfried swears again. It literally just says punishment and pain.
Well,
Sounds like my
without
type of
without the conjunctive, but yes, the
Yeah, I
the
mean,
idea of punishment and the idea of pain are overlaid into this symbolism. If you're a big nerd, the idea of how Gallifreyan is described
Yeah.
is a much closer approximation to how the Druidic language
I
shows up
also-
when written, which is
I
rare.
was also thinking, like the language the aliens use in Arrival,
I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with that one.
because it's like a language where that works in the fourth dimension. It's weird, but anyways, with my so it says punishment and pain.
Yeah.
Is
Now,
there any sort
that can mean
okay.
lots of things. It can mean there is
I-
punishment awaiting you and pain awaiting you. There is reprieve from punishment and pain, such that it stops here at this statue. You're not. There's many different interpretations. The symbols that you would expect to be emblazoned for additional context are not present. So
Yeah,
it could mean many of them at once. It could mean only one of them. You don't have the greater context to know how specifically this is ascribed in this context.
Does it seem like the runes were carved after, like, at the same time the statue was made, or after?
The base seems to, upon investigation, it seems like it was probably made separately, and then the statue affixed to it at one point. They both appear to be equally weathered, so they were probably all put together around the same time, based on just using your perception check from previously.
I love hearing
And not my
that.
cat. So yeah.
Yeah. It's
What direction is the statue facing?
It's facing the trail from whence you came. So you
Okay.
approached it facing you.
Okay,
And I-
so behind it is the pain, if that is what it's saying.
If it's
If we
saying there's
continue
pain and punishment
further-
ahead of you, yeah, or it
Yeah.
might be saying pain and punishment stops here. You're not sure.
I also just meant it might not even be pain and punishment. It's just the ideas of pain and punishment layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
There is no conjunction.
Pain is punishment. Punishment is pain. There's lots of different ways that this could be read.
Druidic is weird.
It's the conveyance of
yeah.
ideas. with the attempt to do so without specific words.
With my rune shaper feet, does it seem like these are like runes carved with power, or just regular carvings?
These are regular carvings.
Okay.
There does not appear to be any type of magical placement upon this.
Okay. They're not. They're weathered. That makes sense. Yeah. So they're taking damage. Okay.
Yeah, they're weathered, and best you can tell, in line with the rest of the statue. Like the weathering that has happened, particularly at the top of the helm and the upper edge of the shield, and some of the fine details that are were probably significantly more fine at one point, have also been worn down.
And it's just one statue on one pedestal. Is there
One
another
statue on one pedestal, and looks to be humanoid, a little bit tall for a human, or a humanoid race. It's about 6'6", roughly, not counting the pedestal. So a little bit tall for a human or elf or some type of individual like that. Not quite as broad as some of the burlier races, but you're not able to see the actual ownership of, or to which race this statue claims association, due to the nature of both the weathering, the lichen, and the helm that would give you the immediate presence of tusks, pointed ears, or any of that like.
Does the armor look like it's like carved out of stone, or is the armor placed upon it?
No, it's all stone. The whole thing's stone. The helm particularly is like the weathering on the top of the stone helm. It was one of your first appearances that this is particularly old.
Okay. Yeah. The only
it's carved with the armor as part of it.
The only information we have is pain, punishment, and the lemur saying there's danger up ahead.
The rain is still pouring down heavily.
Our only shot of saving Dunnan, so he would do it for us, I think.
Yeah, pain and punishment are no strangers to us. We've been through some shit.
Before we move past the statue, I'm gonna take out one of my mother's Ami charms, and I would like to leave it at the base of the statue.
Sure.
And say a prayer.
Make a religion check for me.
Sorry, my cat is on my lap now too, so I'm in a weird position.
Mine is sitting on the speaker behind my second monitor, which means in about 3 minutes she's going to decide that she needs to stand on the monitor to see what's happening. Like she'll half lean on it, like she's just peering over it.
Hey, what you doing?
Everyone? Very good. All right, so you leave a small charm there.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, are these charms that you've made yourself after the fashion of how your mother makes them, or have you had a simple?
I imagine I craft them with my druid craft spell, and they're just made out of flowers, things like that.
Noted.
So they're not permanent. They'll eventually rot away, but they look like my mother's ones.
Okay, noted. You press by the statue, one by one, filing along. The trail has fallen away to either side. You don't see the tree line. You're walking through this incredibly thick sort of sphagnum moss that is probably about a foot thick, roughly, but as it depresses underneath your feet, there's the squelching sound as it's so waterlogged with the downpour. Your feet only depress about 6 inches down into it. It's still sort of slow going, but not enough to terribly hamper you. About 20 seconds of carefully walking, trying to get your bearings to the point where you're surrounded by trees half an hour ago, or 15 minutes ago, before you came to the statue of the lemurs, and now the trees are out of sight because of the rain. This clearing is just opened wide out of nowhere, it feels like. And as you gaze up, you can see there's still some degree of canopy above you, but it's sparse. And you can see patches of cloud. And the nearest branches, as you gaze up, so that way you're not looking through dozens of raindrops, it's a little bit easier to gain distance when looking directly up in rain, is tree branches maybe 100 feet above your head at their closest. This is a relatively large clearing. As you take a few steps further and into it, who's in the lead? Is it you, Siegfried, or is someone else in front?
I think I would go first.
Okay, so you see first, the moss terminates at the edge of a very wide pool. You don't see the far edge of the pool, but it's this rich blue. It's being churned up constantly by the rain falling upon it, that very gently lapping at the edges of the shore. You don't see the bottom, but there's this big body of water that you've not previously encountered as you approach the edge.
Like, I think we're here. Does anything that look like the flowers Tennis told about? Do I see anything like that?
Nothing seems to stand out to you. It's hard to see more than maybe a score of feet with how much rain is coming down. Maybe 2 score.
I guess we start looking around. We're just at a beach right now, right? So it's one way up the beach or down the beach, basically, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, Aeolus? Left or right? Actually, Helly, do you still have your bones?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been using them because you've got Wheel and Woe
I think this
on
might-
tap.
I think
But
this
sure.
might be a good. Yeah, it's left or right. That's the question.
Yeah. So
Is
the question is, we'll let you pick a direction, Heller asked, and say, is what we are searching for in the left direction or in the right direction?
Yes, correct. In the left direction.
Okay. So,
So-
is what we are searching for to the left? Yes or no?
So before we do this, why is left and right the only option?
We're on this.
And Aeolus just looks into the water.
I
Oh.
mean, I was considering that as well. If it's druidic, this very might be some sort of circle. I haven't really dealt with many other druids in my life, but
Is somebody holding Tannen right now?
You're
Yeah,
tethered to
Really
somebody,
is.
but
oh, yeah.
Tannen is probably gonna try to run into the water.
Nope.
Splashing, having
Oh,
fun
no.
in the water.
No.
Otherwise, make me an athletics check. You
Yeah,
first all
shit.
done in this charge. Then it also make me an athletics check. Wow.
Damn, I'm glad I gave it to Helly. Jesus.
Okay. Rather dense amount of muscle charges towards the water's edge before you are stopped by Hellerest's arm.
I quickly give Dunnan some
He
alcohol.
grudgingly looks back. This barking like a
Ew.
dog.
I'm just gonna get cured and be so sick of ale because he's just been he's just been placated with it.
I just have like a funnel. I'm just like, here, Dunnan. Just beer bogging him every couple minutes.
Oh my god.
I will also try to help with Tannen, and I will give him one of my rations.
So,
It's gonna chew on
Hellerest,
it.
you're casting your bones. Left or right?
Yes.
Which direction are you picking?
Let's go with left.
Alright.
So,
is
does she have to roll wild magic?
she throw the spell. I believe she does.
Okay.
because I believe it's a second level spell. She has a charge of it that she spends instead of a slot, but wild magic applies to that. Augury, yep. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a d100. Okay. The spell takes effect. So, LOS, as you cast the bones over 60 seconds or so, and you sort of see them bounce off the sphagnum moss for a moment, you try to make sure that they don't bounce out of your line of sight or into the edge of the lake. And you read them for a moment. Your question was, is going left along the shore going to lead us to what we're searching? Is that accurate?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
You receive... You receive, based on how you're reading the bones that you've cast, both good and bad. Weal and woe.
I've got weal and woe, which makes me feel like we might find what we're looking for, but we're not going to like it.
It's usually how these things go.
Mm-hmm.
I think left is as any direction as good as any, and I mean, if it's not there, we go right. If it's not there, we go in the lake.
Yeah.
But I can help maybe going in the lake, but I'm gonna need a night's rest to do it, and who knows how the wild magic is gonna work. So,
In mind.
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, or burn it down, whatever. Anyways, Siegfried is going to the left.
I don't think that's how bridges work.
As we start to move left, I'm gonna reach into my pebble bag, and I'm going to imbue the pebble with light, and I'm gonna throw the pebble into the lake.
Okay. You see it sink about 30 feet or so before it fades from view.
No,
That's a deep fucking lake.
I can swim it.
Sure you can, babe.
I am able to stay underwater as long as
Yeah.
I'm conscious.
Yeah,
That's true.
is basically awkward.
Sorry, I forgot.
So if absolutely needed, I can take a swim, but we'll burn that bridge when we come across it, right?
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, the worst that happened the last time I took a swim is I became part fish, and it was glorious. I could breathe underwater.
But you were breathing corpse water. Don't forget that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, technically all water is corpse water.
Yeah. And piss water and whatever else you want to call it.
When you're
Yeah,
stuck,
I remember one time Dunnan telling me about how he doesn't drink water because fish shit in it.
well, Dunnan and I also came from the old land, so we experienced that hellish sail across the water.
Oh, yeah.
Dunnan just humming. It's like a asterisk monopolis.
Yep.
All right.
I feel like I would have taken the time. I would have taken the time to put some flowers in Dunnan's beard. Comb it a little bit.
He is gonna kick our asses when he gets better.
I'll take the kicking.
Fanaho is loving it.
Hell, he kicked my ass when he wasn't better. So, we're moving along the left.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd like each of you to roll me an investigation check.
I guess Dana is too stupid to do that for now.
You can totally roll an investigation check, Don.
Oh, please let me roll a 1. Can I roll a
you got-
1 by...
That's a nat 20.
I would love it.
I have a -5 now in investigation. Please let me... Aww.
Oh,
I wanted to roll negative.
Damn, 3 11s.
Yeah, we're all sleep deprived.
All right.
That's what.
Oh yeah. Aeolus, you being the person who would naturally feel more inclined to sort of gaze out, find out what's going on, type of thing. You take some time, and as you're sort of following the edge of the water, it takes you a moment, and then you see about 8 feet away from one of the banks is a small little island. It looks like maybe a collection of rocks that has had moss sort of grow over the top of it. And onto this sort of collection of rocks looks to be a wooden dock of some sort that goes away from the shore. And you follow that with your line of sight and just gazing through the rain, and you see a stone wall of some structure up on supports. You follow the support. You see one pylon goes down into the lake and vanishes from sight, and then it arches again, second pylon, and then the third one is set into something out on the outside of your vision. You can follow the arch, but you can't quite see where this wall terminates.
point it out to everyone else. What do we think that is?
Something new, so I guess we check it out, right?
Helly's got a bad feeling about it, but whatever you guys want to do. We haven't had too much trouble recently. It's time for trouble to find us.
Would you like me to go investigate it and you guys wait here?
I can send a bird.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use my druid ability. I forget, I haven't used it in a while.
Wild companion.
Yep, wild companion. So I use one of my wild shapes, and I bring out an owl,
Yeah.
and I send it to sort of scout ahead these docks and wherever Aeolus is directing me. But I currently have owl vision, so I'll just like keep my hand on Aeolus's shoulder.
Okay.
Because I'm looking through the owl at the moment.
Even the owl's eyesight is not very good with the amount of obfuscation of the rain itself. You think the rain might be getting a little bit better, and slowing down slightly, but it's still a torrential downpour. As the owl does a circle, it looks to be a ruin of some type that Aeolus has sort of stumbled upon. Parts of the floor cracked away, and the whole center of the floor of this space has fallen into the lake. Some of the walls are still surviving, the ones more focused on like directly above some of these support pylons. The small dock that Aeolus found looks like at one point maybe it was part of a greater bridge structure spanning part of the lake, and it connects to another shore on the opposite side. maybe about 40, 50 feet away, roughly. There's no roof to this structure either, so the rain is still coming down to the interior of it. As the owl continues to scout further ahead, it finds a few more ruins here and there, and then about 60 or so feet beyond that finds another statue.
There's some ruins. It looks like it's one side of a bridge that went across the lake, so I assume there might be something directly across, but there's another statue further up ahead, beyond the ruins. Can I try and land my owl inside the ruins that are closest to us?
You land on the ground, that's fine.
Yeah.
And
just try to get a better view out of the mist.
lands inside on the floor of this structure. It sort of hops about here and there. There's a very faint bit of crumbling as it gets like right up to the edge where the two halves of this building have sort of split as part of the falls. The floor has fallen away. But other than that, doesn't seem to be anything of note.
Seems to be abandoned though.
Should we check the statue out before we investigate the ruin?
The ruin is before the statue. You'll pass through
Alright,
the ruined building following.
Also, for the statue, like if we approach it from the direction we're approaching it, would the statue be facing us or away from us?
Facing you.
Okay. Yeah. It would be facing us, so I think we should go that way.
So we would have to go through the ruin to reach the statue.
I think
Correct.
so.
Okay.
The ruin also seems pretty unstable, so we're gonna have to figure that out when we get there.
Yeah. Based on what the owl did, you gather as long as you don't go near the edge, you should be alright.
Oh, okay. Alright.
crumbled
I thought like
edge.
it landed and it crumbled away into a hole. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No. It looks like it was part of a larger square structure, or square-ish structure. And then the left side is still standing, the right side is still standing. Both of them still have some degree of floor, but a crack that had formed in the floor over time has been widened and eroded to the point where now it is two halves of the whole structure with a gap in between them that goes basically through, bisects the structure itself.
So it's like mostly intact, but just split in half down the middle.
I mean, there's no ceiling, but yeah.
Yeah.
Some parts still remain, and some parts of the floor have been a bit sturdier than others. If something caused the crack, or if it was just erosion over time, you're not sure.
Yep. I tell that to the party, yeah. I think it seems safe enough to check out, unless we get ambushed.
I
Maybe
can
you-
get across.
Maybe you lead the way, Aeolus.
I will put my weapon into my bag of holding, so I don't have anything large hanging off my body. All right. If like a big tendril comes out of the water, please do your best to not have it drag me all the way down.
Sure.
Cool, awesome, great. And I hop in the water and start to swim towards.
I mean, the one rock is within jumping distance of the shore that you started on, so you can jump in the water and move like the 6 to 8 feet to the other rock and sort of clamber back up onto that. Now you're wetter.
Yes.
I'm just like, Dunnan, come on, we're going swimming. Come on.
Oh no.
And start leading down the pier.
Mm-hmm.
Easy enough for all
He's
of you
grinning
to
from side to side.
easy enough for all of you to jump or wade the distance to the rock and then up onto the wooden steps that lead up into this half structure, basically. You very carefully. I'd like acrobatics checks from all of you, please. Dunnan, up to you. If you see people being very careful, if Dunnan's instincts say, be careful where I step type of thing, if you make one or not. It's your prerogative there.
Nope.
Okay.
He's not careful.
Right, Hellerast, I need you to make me an athletics check.
We all just fit in
Wow.
front of them. like
Terrible
Three
rolls.
Stooges.
Yeah.
I imagine Aeolus's foot gets like caught on like seaweed or something, and he immediately goes into panic.
Help! It's got me! It's got me!
Ah, it's gonna pull me down, guys. This is it.
Hellerast stream came to life and it's attacking me, not her. How dare it? Alright.
You're down with
my gosh. Okay. Took a moment for the athletics to populate for me. Okay. This is bad. So you take a few steps. And the owl, being an owl, and not Teng, and even if it was Teng, not the greatest judge of strength and of flooring, based on its weight. Siegfried, Hellerast, Aeolus, and Dunnan plus the pup all weigh individually a lot more than an owl. All of you stepping in, the floor crumbles away from beneath you. Hellerast, you manage to sort of dodge back for a moment, right up to the edge of the wall that seemed to not crumble. Moments before the rope that has tethered you to Dunnan drags you into the water as well. With a sickening splash, you all land, breaking the surface.
Perfect.
I will.
Is there a...
Dunnan, you
can
feel
we
the
get
pup
back?
go underneath you and sort of then rise up underneath you, so you're sort of on the pup's back.
He's barking to the pup. Woo woo. As a thank you.
It's the only language he now knows is dog.
They're
It's
Yes.
great.
They're bonding.
He became a dog.
It's
The dog's
progress.
like 10 points smarter than he is, so.
Is there a way to get back up, or are we just stuck in the water?
Not to the structure itself. You can, as you look up, because you sort of fell into the crack of the structure as more of the floor fell away. You can follow the crack all the way to the other shore, though. Takes about 5 minutes of time. Detect magic is gone by now, Aeolus. But you managed to pull yourself up on the opposite shore through a couple river plants to the side. Looks like a couple lily pads or something. You sort of push them away and manage to clamber up onto the far shore. This area here is also covered in this thick sphagnum moss, but it feels like it's grown over some type of rocky structure underneath, or like gravelly structure. And you can feel the unevenness underneath your boot. Even though it's significantly more padded because of the moss, that uneven tread is still present, if muted. You're all now, if you weren't entirely soaked previously, you are now soaked to the bone. Aeolus, you are just barely on the northern edge of your vision, able to see the silhouette of this statue that Siegfried mentioned.
Should probably move this way. That's where the statue is.
Right. Let's go.
Siegfried, I have a question. With your ability to craft flowers and such, how long do they last?
I mean, they're just normal flowers.
Okay.
There are more advanced spells I can take to enhance the natural abilities of flowers, but they're still bound to the laws of nature. If that makes sense.
Yes. I have an idea for if we need to go into the water.
More.
Yes.
I was just planning on turning into a shark again. Right, I think I can even be an even bigger thing this time.
You know, I often forget that you're able to change shape.
Yeah, it is quite useful. I think this time, what can I be? Maybe a giant
You're
frog?
past level 8, so you can change into any of the CRs that a normal druid gets, including flying ones.
Yeah,
I think it's CR 1, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I think I can turn into a giant toad right now.
There's a
Toads
lot of
don't
things.
swim. Yeah. Frogs swim. Toads,
So-
I think, just...
This statue is quite a bit larger. The head itself has been completely worn away. It's basically like an almost smooth ball at this point, near the top of a neck. It's not quite a spherical, like it's still the general shape of a head, but the features are entirely smooth. You gather whatever type of rock it had been made out of has probably a little bit softer and more susceptible to erosion than the rest of it. Most likely made in separate parts, you suspect. The features themselves show a garbed in armor individual. Looks to be male. This statue is about 10 feet tall, so quite a bit larger than the previous one. Carries no weapons or shield, despite its armament. And whilst the other one was covered in lichen, this one is not overgrown. There's still that little bit of wear and tear on the head of this individual, but nothing else seems to be worn down. The base of the statue does have a little bit of growth along the sides of it, as the moss has sort of creeped up on it over who knows how many years. But there is no lichens up, obstructing the features of the armor and the intricacies and whatnot.
Well, this statue scares me a lot more than the last one.
Does it have an inscription?
It does.
Can I read it? Or do we have to get closer?
You can. I assumed you had gotten closer at this point, as you are
Okay, yeah.
getting
I
the
would get
details
close.
of it.
Yep.
As you come up to it, Siegfried, the inscription is once again in Druidic. This is the inscription conveys the ideas of sunlight and growth and spring and blossoming. It's these ideas interlayered upon each other.
These are much nicer words. Is this statue by another path that
No.
proceeds behind it, or is it's just on the shore?
It's just it's a ways off the shore,
Okay.
30 or so feet off the nearest shore, but yeah.
I'm going to try something. I would like to attempt to cast the spell Daylight.
Okay. What is
can
your
change-
what specific area are you focusing up? Because you choose a point within range.
I would like to do it like right above the statue's head.
Okay. Roll it. Go ahead and roll me a d100.
Yeah.
You now becomes a statue of Lathander.
82 believe that's a success. Spell functions normally.
Nice.
Alright. As you
That's well said.
intone this daylight spell, and you feel the magic take hold and ride the wave of the weave through successfully, rather than being washed away by it. And this bright light suddenly filters out from around the space, almost sourceless, as there's a brief moment where there's no shadows whatsoever, while the light is pulled from everywhere into this point before spreading back out and recasting the shadows from the new angle. That is going to be the point that we're going to pick up next session.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Nice.
We
I feel bad for Marcus. Marcus is just making.
Hmm?
I'm sorry,
Ah.
Marcus. We're not going fast enough.
I'm kind of useless right now. I'm just on the back seat.
Hopefully we'll have Tang next session also.
Do hope so, yes.
Yeah, so I'll impress upon her that it's fairly important that she shows up. As
We
the
go die.
That's totally fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
We gonna die. We need you.